Hi everyone, this is what we are all looking for. Do you see this outline? One of my favorite things to do is to find the outlines of trees in the distance and see if I can identify them. And this one is a Doug fir, just like the Oregon license plate. This one in the center here is one of our favorite medicinals and plants that grows in the Northwest. I want to show you an up close and personal view of one right here. Now, one of the main things you'll see in the keys to ID of this plant are, number one, it's a big evergreen tree. Beautiful. So that's number one, is the general stature. Number two is, what are some key features that really set this one apart from other large evergreens around our area? And as you can see right here, this grayish bark with these deep indentations in the bark, and those are called furrows. So it's got deep furrows in its bark and it's gray. In our area, that's gonna set it apart. Number two, so that's the first key feature once you get the stature. And actually what's really cool is I'm looking right here and I can see a little bit of, where my finger is here, is some resin. Now resin is different than pitch. Sorry, I said that wrong. Resin is different than sap. And sap is the food of the tree and resin is the band-aid of the tree. And the band-aid of the tree is a super useful thing. So what you can do is grab a little piece like this, break it off, a little one right there, and it's gonna help be an antimicrobial for my mouth. So lovely stuff. Now, we said one thing was the deep furrowed bark. A second defining key feature, part of our keys to ID, is these cone appendages that look like little mouse tails. Right now, the ones on the tree are green. These ones are light brown. This is last year's cones, and they're all over the ground. You can see them right below this tree. That's the second key feature to the 4 keys to ID. And the third key feature to this one is the needles themselves, which are actually leaves. If you look here at some kind of good, let's see if we can get there. Oh my gosh. See if we can get some good light. There we go. There you go. So you can see the needles on an evergreen have different arrangements. These ones are all around like a bottle brush. So and they're soft tipped. So they're not really pokey. And so let's talk about those 3 keys. The 3 keys to ID in this plant are the large furrows in the bark, in the gray bark. Secondly, the cones with the mouse tail appendages. Thirdly, the soft needles arranged in a bottle brush formation. So those are the keys. If you look for those things with a large tree with this general aspect like that, you will always be right. And so the keys to ID method that I teach at our school is number 1, stature, number 2, the keys, number 3, the lookalikes, and number 4, the habitat, or I sometimes mix up 3 and 4 and say habitat first. But for us, the Doug fir ranges from everywhere, from east side forest to west side forest to cities and towns. 8 out of every 10 trees in Oregon is a Doug fir, so you're probably going to be able to find it even in our cities. And so that's the habitat. And then of course the lookalikes are really important to know when you're IDing a tree, because, oh, here's my little friend who's also getting a little lesson. Hi, Boober. Is the 4th thing to know about the lookalike is, what are lookalikes to a big coniferous tree? There are spruces, and there's a hemlock, and there are firs, true firs they call them, and there's also yew trees and cedar of Lebanon and a couple other ones. But basically, you will never go wrong if you look for the furrowed bark, whoops, sorry about that, the mouse tail appendages on the cone, and the bottle brush arrangement of soft needles. That's our Douglas fir, Pseudotsuga menzii. Not a very well studied plant, medicinally speaking, chemically speaking. It was used for a lot of different things by Northwest people here, still is. And for us, it's a great expectorant and diaphoretic. And the resin can be used for lots of different things, including dental infections. And I would say that probably if they were to research this tree, they would find a lot of polyphenols, a lot of terpenes, a lot of medicine that grows, that is in similar trees like maritime pine, stuff like that, that's more well studied. It's probably in this tree too. So we love to make this tree into medicines, a tincture, a tea, the water, food, all sorts of ways. It's lovely, and I really hope that you can all form a relationship with it as one of our most important and most common conifers that really defines our beautiful Northwest. All right, friends, hope that you are finding this plant, using it as medicine, and hope to talk to you about it soon.